I would get a financing sheet specific to the property. It would have the lowest possible interest rate on it. How low can you go? What's that game? You're going to the bar. How low can you go? And then options. And then what's the par rate? And get this for every open house. Get it on supplements. I would get it out to every agent that is showing the property. So back to the theory. I think this theory, you and I are experts on this theory, about as expert on the expert level as Hawking on the theory of relativity, right? So here's the theory. Buyers, they walk through a house, because we get this all the time, right? They walk through a house, they making this emotional decision to buy the house. So you've sold the house. Accept that. They go home that afternoon or that night. They call their loan officer. They go through the math, and then they make the practical decision that it's too expensive.
They're not going to write.
And they didn't know because their lender told them the rates were 7% or 6.5%, or whatever the rate is. And they don't know that they can get a rate that's 1.5%, 2% lower than that. And they don't have to pay for the whole thing because it can be negotiated in. We could come into this equation between a listing agent and a buyer's agent and help negotiate this and provide the options to the buyer so they know that they can finance the property at a much lower rate, and maybe even work it into the numbers where the seller is splitting it with them or something.
Right.
You know, if it's 5, a buyer is going to really have a hard time swallowing 5 discount points, especially the typical buyers. You know, we're working with Minnesota housing programs, down payment assistance, and there's some disconnect with those specific programs on this, but we're working with Fannie Mae Home Ready, Freddie Mac Home Possible, affordable mortgage programs, and
where the funds are hard to come up with.
the buyers don't have that much money. They don't.
Have,
Yeah.
right.
They don't
And
have
on top of it,
5%.
now with the NAR program, where now they may have to pay their buyer's agent.
Maybe, right?
Right?
Maybe
So
sometimes. So they don't have the money. And so for them to it's not very palatable for a buyer to say, I'm going to, I'll chip in 5 points to make this deal work for me. But if the seller pays 3 and the buyer pays 1 and SWBC pays 1 or 2 of these discount points with our grants, now all of a sudden, hey, this is a pretty damn sweet deal for everybody. Win, 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 win.
Right.
Yeah. Now we sold the house. Now we've sold the house with discount points.